Alright. Greetings, my fellow mushy blobs of universe dust. My name's Hans, Lord of Water to my sun-loving life forms, obsessed with teal bricks, and berserk for Legos. I done did it again. This is round 2 of modular building expansions. Today I reveal what the corner garage looks like with 6 extra studs, Paradisa style. So put on your 80s style overalls, whoop your doggos on the nose, and let's wrench this video. Watch this video. Onwards. Okay, and this should be instantly recognizable as the LEGO Creator Expert Modular Building from 2019, Corner Garage 10264. And I finally got my hands on this set towards the end of January, so now I'm still at the pace of being 2 modular buildings behind the most current release, which is the police station. I only just built it 2 weekends ago, and for a solid week and a half, I was just in this building frenzy. And I didn't even build it the original way first. I immediately went into remodel mode to the full 32 by 32 base plate, Paradisa style, tropical, and I really love how it came out. Within a week and a half of remocking this, that was 4 times faster than it took me to remock the Palace Cinema. And once again, I've remocked this corner garage to go into my upcoming LEGO city, Paradisa City, a tropical city of the future in the year 2060. If you want to know a bit more about Paradisa City and the plans that I have for it, definitely go check out my new LEGO road plays video and my Hyperloop video, where I talk about the city layout and all the futuristic modes of transportation that make it unique. Alright, let's break it down. First things first, I'll talk about the major changes that I've done to this building. I'll give a tour of the outside, and then last, I'll give a tour of all the interiors. Let's get started. So the basics, I kept it on its original 32 by 32 base plate. So I'm on a quest to expand all my modular buildings, but without going beyond the 32 by 32 base plate. And I started with my Palace Cinema, so I definitely recommend go check out the Palace Cinema video. Did some really awesome stuff to that. Now, all the modular buildings come straight out of the box, and they've got a sidewalk built onto there, and that's what I'm using to expand. I'm removing the sidewalk from the modular buildings, and that's giving me an extra 6 studs of space to work with, especially on these corner buildings. I get 6 studs on the left and 6 studs on the right, and that allows me to do a lot of magic with these buildings. And another benefit of my futuristic LEGO city is the modes of transportation. Most of the city is going to have walkable pathways, and the way the city is going to be constructed is that people live very close to everything they need, so all they have to do is just walk to the grocery store. It's just right around the corner, or it's even in the same building. And the other thing is that there will be underground modes of transportation, so that frees up all of my city so that all the surface level streets are just walkable pathways, which means I can make them really narrow. You'll understand more when you go watch my road plates and Hyperloop videos, but essentially I'm able to expand my buildings by moving the sidewalks onto these walkable pathways. These walkable pathways can be narrow. I can get more buildings in Paradisa City. Because Paradisa City doesn't have roads and freeways with cars, everything's going to be walkable pathways. People just walk to wherever they want to go. There's also going to be roads for scooters and bicycles and motorcycles, quad bikes, and stuff like that. And then, of course, for longer distances, there is tunnel networks that essentially replace what the car is today. You'll learn more about that in my Hyperloop video. So what did I do with the garage? I turned it into a scooter and motorcycle garage. Yep, and since there won't be cars anymore, this totally makes sense because a lot of people will be getting around on their electric scooters and motorcycles. Now, what you see here on the light gray is the walkable pathway going down this way. And going down this way is also a walkable pathway, but it also allows motorcycles and scooters to come onto this pathway off of the main roadway that is specifically for motorcycles and scooters. And you can see here I'm using one of the new crosswalk 8x16 LEGO road plates that just came out this year. So it's nice and compact, nice and narrow. When I start setting up my Paradisa City, I start placing all the buildings. There's probably going to be another building right here. There'll be another building right here. And this walkable pathway is only about 12 studs wide. And of course, since it's a tropical city, it's got tons of tropical plants all over the place. I've got tropical plants lining the walkway here. I've got a tree over there, and I've got a nice tropical tree right here. All right, I also added a 4th level up there at the very top, and I can't wait to show that to you guys once I start talking about the interiors of all the different floors. Now, another major thing you're going to notice is I got rid of the old school gas pump and the roof that extended out over the gas pump, and I replaced it completely with this tree. And I think it's really awesome that it symbolizes the replacement of carbon-based fossil fuels with a carbon-based life form. And this is an all-new tree design that I've made, and I'm really happy with how it came out. I love it. I set out to make a tropical tree, and I think it looks really great. As you can see up here, it's growing some sort of fruits. One of the fruits is ripe, the other ones are not so ripe. The other thing you'll notice is these 2 little guys right here, which are different plants. They are not a part of the original tree. A lot of times in tropical areas, plants will grow on plants. So a bird's nest fern will actually grow on other trees. They release a bunch of spores that float through the air, and then when they land on other trees, other types of plants, they grow on those plants. They look really awesome. I actually have a couple of bird's nest ferns, and when I went traveling to Indonesia, there were bird nest ferns growing on trees everywhere, and I really like bird's nest ferns. I also like how at the very top of the tree, I transitioned from a 2x2 round cylinder piece, and I was able to make it look as though it branched out into a bunch of different branches rather than it just suddenly ending like a fat trunk and then all of a sudden it just stops. You know, most trees usually get narrower and narrower as they go along, or they branch out at the top, and so that's what I was able to do with this particular tree, was to give it the appearance that it branches out. Now, the one thing to note is that these 2x2 cylinder bricks don't have a lot of clutch power, and in order to get it to stay in place, I actually had to use a 4x4 round plate ring to hold it in place. Otherwise, it just kept popping off. Now, the other thing you'll notice is that over here, I've actually added 2 electric chargers for the scooters, and you can see this little lavender scooter right now getting a full-on charge. And one of my favorite features on these 2 charging stations is the fact that the power cord can actually swing down, and when they're not in use, you can just swing them back up and tuck them up against the wall. And of course, since the second floor is an animal hospital, I've got down here a guy that's cleaning up after his dog. All right, so I removed the walkable pathway so we can get a closer view of what's going on, and I got out my turntable. Yeah. All right, so here's what happened. I built the building all the way to this corner as much as possible to allow for the extra 6 studs on either side. Pretty much kept the garage over here. What it did is it gave me an extra 6 studs of wall right here, and I was able to throw in a nice little window right there, a 1x6x3 flat windshield pieces. And up here on the second and third floor, I was able to widen this little bay window by 6 studs. I really like how that came out. Now, this little Joe's Garage sign used to be part of the overhang structure. Now, I really wanted to have a tree right here in the corner to replace that old gas pump. And one thing I forgot to mention is that in the year 2060, all the vehicles run on battery electric, and fossil fuel vehicles are either in museums or private collections or have all been taken to the shop and converted to electric. Now, my original goal was to have a tree here, and then I wanted to have the overhang kind of go around and have the tree kind of growing up through the overhang, or such that they built the overhang so that it was kind of held in place by the tree itself. But after building this tree, I just said, you know, I don't really need that overhang anyways, and I really like how this tree looks. It's one of my top favorite tree builds. The other thing you'll notice is that I've replaced that really dark earth green with a sand green here. I've also used the regular green, a Lego color, to add as a color stripe across the building. And I did the same thing for this color stripe up here. This was the dark earth green, and I replaced it with the regular green, just to kind of give it a more vibrant and colorful appearance. The dark green was great because it actually helps blend it better with the dark orange up here. But since there was already a strong contrasting difference between the dark orange upper floors and the white with green, doesn't increase or decrease the clash with the dark orange up top. All right, so here's a little bit closer look at the electric charging stations. I've added a little electric charging light. Down here is the digital dial. And for operating the garage, I actually had to extend the axle to this wheel over here, an extra 6 studs, so that I can still have that operation. And on this side, the extra 6 studs came into play over here. So I just simply added an extra window in there, and this column, which used to be over here, moved over 6 studs. And then what I did was I just increased this to a 4x4 brick column right there. And just for some architectural style, I'm using these gray ingot pieces to look like stonework. I've also heavily modified the balcony. In the original set, it was just a simple black 4x4 railing, and I've done a little bit of restructuring on the bottom in order to get this balcony on there. And of course, it gave me these 2 extra sets of windows right there, and this little wall section right here increased from 1 stud to 2 studs wide. Now, one consequence of the 6 stud expansion is that 1 stud of the stepway going up to this door actually moved off of the 32x32 base plate. And I think for a lot of people, that would be a no-go for them. However, because I'm designing walkable pathways, it was no big deal for me. It does not whatsoever interfere with the walkable pathway that I built going around this corner garage. Now, I don't actually know for sure. I haven't researched the architecture on this, but it just reminds me of a Midwestern, kind of like Texas, Nevada, Arizona kind of architecture. But with expanding this building and dropping it into a tropical city setting, I think it really makes this set set a whole lot better. So yeah, I really like how it came out. I like the color changes. I like the tropical tree. I think the extra width in the bay windows is really awesome. I like how the extra width for the balconies came out and having this extra window right there. All right, the first floor interior, and this is the motorcycle and scooter shop. And they do other repairs too. They can do the repairs on the go-karts, almost any of the small electric vehicles that run around on the scooter and motorcycle roadways. They'll even do repairs on a lot of the small autonomous vehicles that run around as well. So starting at the front entrance, they just walk in, and one thing that I did was I built up the floor to match the level of the front door. Because of the fact that the original designer of this set added this 45-degree wall, he had to raise the door up by a couple of plates, which means that the minifigures would have to kind of step over the door as they're walking into the building. So what I did was I actually added a step for them to step up onto before entering the front door, and decided to go ahead and raise the interior right where the front customer service desk is. And I really like how that turned out. I also added the yellow hazard stripe on the floor right there, and that's to let customers know not to walk beyond that point and into the garage unless they've been instructed to do so. Now back over here in this corner, I have actually added a third charging station so that the shop can charge up a lot of the electric motorcycles and scooters in here and keep the vehicles safe while they're stored in here overnight. Up here on this top edge, I actually kept the windows the same color. I didn't change the color of the windows. It's still the same dark earth green. And what I did was I moved it one stud back from the front wall. And then over here on the front side, there's actually a ledge for tropical plants to grow. By moving them back over here, I got rid of the little glass window pieces and replaced it with the black lattice window inserts. I also rebuilt the tire machine so that it can work with a motorcycle tire. And fun fact, not only do I know how to work on cars and change tires, my dad taught me how to change tires since I was 8 years old, and he's had me wrenching on cars. And then when I got my own car when I was in high school, I did all my own car repairs by myself with my own set of tools. But in college, for over a year, I worked as a tire and oil change service technician. So I actually used to use that particular type of machine all the time, and I really like that little tire machine build. Another thing I'll mention is that the tire change machine, usually there's two different machines, one that changes the tire itself, the other one that balances the tire. In this case, because this is year 2060, I'm just going to say that this machine can do both at the same time. It can also spin the wheel for balancing requirements. I moved the little hand cart over here on the original set. It used to be outside. I've also redesigned the tool cabinet, gave it some real functioning drawers. I actually don't really care for the whole fake drawers look that people are building in a lot of cases in their kitchens. I prefer having these little actual functioning drawers. I love functionality, and having a drawer that actually opens up, for me, that's way better than having something that looks like it's a drawer or something that looks like a fridge. I've modified the garage lift. It used to be much wider to lift up cars, and then so what I've done is I've just kind of pinched it a little bit narrower. And as you can see, the white motorcycle is getting its front tire changed. Good old Joe over here who's doing the tire change on the motorcycle. He's also got another tool cabinet over here, but it also has a diagnostics computer right over there. And back here on the back wall, I kept the stairs over here, but what I've done is I've actually moved the stairs, I believe one stud further from the front door. I can actually lift off this roof. So down in there you can see that there's a little bathroom. Over here is where they store the tires. So I can just pop that back on there. And what you see here is a ladder that leads up to the storage up here at the very top. So this is where Joe stores all the boxes for his inventory of brand new parts that he needs for making repairs. And last but not least, I've got plenty of indoor plants. Got a couple of potted plants there. We've got some ferns and tropical plants that are just growing up on that top ledge. I've got a nice little plant right there in that window that's actually growing within a tire itself. And I've got tropical plants growing up here on the top of the outside of the building. And there you have it. Joe's garage is now been converted from doing classic automobiles. Now he does repairs on electric motorcycles and electric scooters and electric go-karts and a lot of the little electric vehicles that are zipping around on the surface level roads. All right, now we got the second floor, which is the veterinarian office. So here you can see that having the 6 extra studs really gave a lot more room for the animal hospital up here. I was able to incorporate quite a bit more things in here. And so here you can see that there are now 2 different tables for taking care of the the animals. Now back here on this back wall, I've actually added animal enclosures for animals that need to stay overnight, be under observation as they heal from their wounds and their sicknesses and their injuries. We got 3 incubation cabinets up here. I got 2 animal containers right there and a couple of smaller animal containers right there. There's actually a little bluebird in this top one up here. And over here, we've actually got a German Shepherd. There's a little bowl for water in there. I got a couple of crates right there for other animals that need a little bit longer term assistance. I moved the doctor's desk right here to the front. I gave them a cabinet for medical supplies. And over here, I've added an x-ray machine so that they can take x-rays for animals that have been severely injured and may have some broken bones. And when it's not in use, it just tucks up against the wall. There's another storage cabinet here, and it's also got the microscope from the original set. There's a computer here for when they do the x-rays as well as other medical programs. Over here, you can see where there's the incubator for the little frog with the little watering bottle. All right, moving over to the lobby area. I've actually expanded the little fish tank here. Another thing that I've done was I lowered the door. So again, just like how it was on the first floor, the door was raised up on a plate to make it more secure. However, for this particular door, even though I couldn't blend it in with the tiles on the floor, I decided to lower it down, and that means that the bottom of the door is not secured to any Lego studs. So even though it can wiggle and it's a little bit loose down at the very bottom, it's not going anywhere, and it's okay. So we got the little girl from the original set, and this is her little bunny. And out here on the balcony, I've got the parrot from the original set, but I also have a sig fig of one of my personal friends, and her name is Anna, and the reason why she's here is because her dog is here. Yep, this is a sig fig of Emma. She is half golden retriever and half cocker spaniel, gets lots of compliments. However, she absolutely hates the vet, and as soon as she knows that she's going to go to the vet, she lets you know that she's extremely unhappy and does not want to go. And here you can see the veterinarian wants to give her a shot, but she's distracting Emma with a treat. The stairs did move this way by 1 stud. Added this section of the wall in order to get the animal pen in there. So as you reach the top of the stairs coming from the first floor, so you can get up onto the 2nd floor without running into this wall by turning onto the 45-degree step. And another thing that I'm really stoked about is the aquarium. So here you can see I've actually added a little bit of plant life inside the aquarium, and then I replaced the fish with the Lego Friends coral colored fish, as well as the little seahorse in there. So it looks like it's a lot more tropical. I really like the coral colored sea life from the Lego Friends sets. Now, one major restructuring that I did is on the original set, this whole corner is notched out. On the first floor, I left in that notch for the back door of the garage, but all the subsequent floors after the first floor, I got rid of that notch and just made the building square. So that gave me even more room. All right, and there you have it. That is the 2nd floor. The fish tank is one of my favorite features, and I really love how everything came out. I like the extra room and all the extra features that I was able to add to the veterinarian office. And welcome to the 3rd floor loft style apartment. Yeah. Now the 6x6 stud expansion on the 3rd floor was so nice that I actually have spare room for stuff. In the compactified world of the minifigures, usually everything's a tight squeeze for those little guys, but in this particular instance, it's almost too much room. Now, one of the first things I did was I closed off the stairway by adding a front door. And that's just so that any old creeper can't just come up into your apartment while you're sleeping at night or whatever. And over here is the storage closet, and this is where they stored the bicycle along with a lot of their other stuff in the apartment. Over here in the corner is the bathroom. This is something that's becoming much more popular, and they're called wet rooms. Basically, the entire bathroom is tiled and sealed, and you have an open shower layout in there. And then over here is the kitchen area, along with the kitchen island. Here is the fridge, and the fridge will actually open up, and there's a little freezer shelf in there, and the bottom will open up as well. Back here is the oven slash microwave all in one. It's a oven of the future. Up here we've got a nice little shelf for them to store their glasses and their cups, as well as some wine bottles and some cereal. We got a little shelf for plants. We have a little blender for smoothies. We've got a sink for dishes, and we even have an espresso machine right there. We've got a recycling bin over here in the corner. Here by the front bay window, we have a working from home office desk right there. You may recognize this couple as the boyfriend and girlfriend in the intro of my Palace Cinema expansion video. Definitely go check that out. He's cooking waffles. She's drinking some espresso. Over here, we have a wall-mounted television that can pivot and swivel. It's like one of those 75-inch TVs. Here, I've expanded the little red couch that came with the original set, and I've modernized this couch so that it has one of those sections where you can just kind of extend your legs out and lay down on it. And over here you have a little bench for sitting down and taking your shoes off, and I imagine this is something that they would store their shoes down inside of there. Now, one thing to note is that this nice open floor plan, the 6-stud expansion, you got some large open spaces over here. So now I kind of consider this as either a luxury apartment, or what I may end up doing is moving the kitchen wall from here over to here and then adding a small compact bedroom for say a child's bedroom right there. So you may be asking, where's the bed? Yep, it's upstairs. That's the new floor addition that I added. All right, now the roof slash fourth floor. And this is basically a loft style bedroom that is part of the apartment down below. So you still have the roof all right here, and the main decorations are still present on this rooftop. However, I've added a lot of cobblestones with lots of green tiles to represent the green moss, and I've added plenty of tropical plants for my tropical Paradisa City. I've got a tropical tree up here. I've got a couple of outdoor chairs out there. There's a couple little side tables. One has a cocktail drink on there. I've got a little barbecue grill right here on the outside. I've got a 5-stud wide bed over here in the corner. I've got some closets and cabinets. I've moved the little Lego truck up here into the bedroom. I've also moved the rock and roll poster up here as well. And here you can see the cutout in the floor, so they can actually look down into their apartment below, almost right above the red couch and the kitchen island right there. And I provided a little bit of white railing in order to walk past their bed. I needed to angle that, as well as the bathroom also has that angled door on the floor below. However, I didn't come up with a good way to kind of slim this railing down. I'm just using these 4x4 angled bricks, which kind of has these little cutouts right there. I'll probably be looking for a better solution in the future. And over here is one of those angled windows so that there's room for the minifigures to walk up the stairs without hitting their heads. And I really like how this all came out. Alright, and here is the roof to the top of the bedroom. And here you can see the skylight right above the bed. And this skylight actually comes from the garage overhang that I got rid of and replaced with the big tropical tree. Alright, and since this is a city of the future, Paradisa City, this building is self-sustainable. It's got its own solar panels for generating electricity, as well as wind power over here. There's a micro wind turbine. I covered the roof in a lot of extra little plants with some little white flowers right there. Beneath the solar panels, we've got a tropical snake just chilling out right there. Maybe he's trying to hide from the bird. And as far as the architecture of this part of the roof, I didn't want to steal from the glory and fanciness of the front roof facade that is down here on this part of the roof. So I kept it pretty simple. Alright, I hope you guys like what I did to the corner garage. I expanded it by 6 studs. I love this tropical tree right here in the front corner and all the improvements that I was able to get on the interior with the full expansion. And I also really like the bedroom 4th level addition to the loft style apartment. And I know some of you guys are dying to know when I'm going to start putting Paradisa City together. I am dying to put it together as well, so I'll just give a quick update. So the one thing that's really holding me up right now are some renovations inside this building. It's taking much longer than I anticipated. I'm actually working with the landlord of this place, trying to find a contractor that will do a lot of the work for the price point that we were looking for. And it turns out that the work we were thinking needed to be done is quite a bit more involved than we were anticipating at a much higher price point. I'm still in the process of reaching out to contractors and trying to find the best one suited for the job at the right price point. And it is putting a little bit of a delay on me being able to put together Paradisa City. However, I'm still using this extra time to do a lot of planning for Paradisa City. And I've already started using the SolidWorks CAD software to start designing the layout of the Lego City, as well as building custom wooden tables for the multi-layers that I'm going to be building Paradisa City on. It should be around April. It may even stretch into May. As soon as I get the renovations in the place finished and I've got the tables built for the Lego City, one of the first things I'm going to do is get a video going of Paradisa City starting to come together. In about 2 or 3 weeks, I'm actually going to do a video showing the design layout of the Paradisa City that I have on the computer and a little bit about how I'll be constructing the tables for that. I'm also working at the moment on building a Grand Emporium, and next week, stay tuned, I'll have another video with some awesome vehicle mocks. So if you guys like my corner garage, if you guys like my expansion and everything that I've done to it, go ahead and leave a comment. Let me know what you guys think. Smash that like button, and if you haven't subscribed already, go ahead and subscribe and go check out a lot of my other videos. In each of my videos, I give off small little details on my plans for Paradisa City. And on that note, I hope you guys have a fantabulous day, and I will check y'all later.